So I'm going to start off with a bit of a story slash fable, whatever you want to call it. My apologies if you've heard this already, but it ties in. So um, there is this church, and there is this old man who would slowly make his way up to the front every Sunday to say into the microphone, "Little children, love one another." And after he had done this for several weeks, several of the congregation asked him why he always says that and he doesn't, uh, change it up with some other stuff. And he ended up telling them that he'll start saying something else when they start following uh, his words. And I think the the lesson the gospel ties into that fairly well because um, in the lesson you have the unknown father interceding to help Sophia uh, basically fix her error when she created reality. Um, and in the gospel, you have this idea of a perfect reality and the fact that we should all aspire to make the world as much like that as we can. And the thing that ties that together is love. And I think that's why a lot of the service talks about love. There's the litany of love, and there's all kinds of stuff in there about love because if you love other people even a tiny bit, it makes the world better. It's kind of like that scene in can't think of the movie's name. It's an old movie about a priest and a bunch of nuns who are trying to save their school.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and one of the characters is talking about wherever you are, try and make it uh, as as good as you can because you'll never be this way again, sort of thing. There's a whole song, but yeah. And the thing of it is that since none of us is perfect and reality isn't perfect, you're gonna fail. Everyone's gonna fail. Like there's a reason we need to be reminded. There's a reason why the old man went to the front of the church every Sunday to say this because it's easy to forget. It's also easy to go, you know, you know, what about, these people or this situation or, and let's be fair, some people are harder to love. Like it shouldn't be that way, but it is. And it's okay to recognize the fact that we're not human. And so unconditional love for all of humanity is well beyond our physical capacity. There's some higher self of part of us that does, I'm sure, but that's not the part that's in physical reality. And so tapping into that when you can is great. And the other thing about that is trying to love uh, everybody also includes yourself, which is another thing we tend to forget because society tends to be weird about that. It's either you're supposed to be a martyr and love everyone else first and sacrifice yourself, or there's this weird narcissistic everything's about me thing and other parts of society, and you know, and then there's doormat tendencies where you do what other people want because it's a whole thing. Um, there's a there's this old Buddhist story um, that is written in the autobiographical book by Ajahn Brahm, and he talks about how there's this remote monastery, and there's a number of monks there. He names them all and gives them all different qualities. And I don't remember all the details, but basically there are some bad guys who show up and basically say they were going to kill them all, but the head monk talks them down so that they'll only kill one person, and he has some time to go and figure out which one. And it's either himself or his best friend or the lazy monk or the useless monk, or there's several characters. And then he asks the congregation or the people in the talk as he gives talks, which one they think he picked. And different people have different answers. And it turns out the answer is when it goes back to to the bad guys, he tells them that he can't make a decision because he loves everyone, including himself, equally. And that's where the story ends. The first time I heard that, it blew my mind because my instinctual thought was, oh, he'll sacrifice himself, of course. But loving everybody equally means yourself, which Western society is terrible. Other societies probably are too, but I mostly just know about Western society because I live in it. And Ajahn Brahm says he thinks that what happens after that is that these bad guys are so moved by this monk's selfless nature that they all immediately convert and become Buddhist monks, which I think is a great ending. Also, probably a little bit upset. So, yeah. Little children, love one another, including yourself. And with that, go in peace, and may the Lord be with you.